Good night. So this will be a microscopic examination of 6 slides, 2 from each crucible. This is the ancient crucible that was the ancient garum, but it was burned twice since the last microscopic examination, with a little bit of not much new oil, just a tiny bit of oil and beeswax, just so it won't dry from the burning. This is the small crucible with the electrolysis. With a magnet on relatively strong magnet. On the bottom of this heap. Again, I burned it 2 times since the examination, and I added all sorts of beeswax, both clean and for mixed soil that with life forms and neros. And this one I've burned, I've lit it twice today. This is the big electrolysis chamber that was kept fermenting on the window. It was very liquid, mostly with pee, a little bit of oil. So I've added a big chunk of beeswax that I have from the metal aquarium. There's still quite a bit of beeswax on it. So I've and it's lumps in it's kind of it's formed in lumps. So I've taken a good chunk and placed it in it. This should be beeswax that is rich with neros and life forms, and I've broken it and put it there and added the turpentine and it was burning for some time. It's still very watery, but now with the melted beeswax and all sort of burn material. The 3 actually crucibles are not uniform at all. It's kind of it's 3 heaps of trash. And so probably the results are not. Even though I've taken 2 samples from different parts of the containers, probably there's a huge variety within the results. So this will just give us kind of a clue, but we still should remember there are all sorts of layers here. Specifically, this one is almost completely the top layer from which I've taken the first one. Sample is they're almost totally dry. Almost totally burned. This will actually make it easier to eat it actually, because the watery or oily, the slimy things are less comfortable to eat. But before we speak about recipes and full review, we should start with the examination to see what's going on in the containers, and maybe it will direct us to if and how to continue with the cooking show for tonight, or maybe it will direct us that we'll actually need more cooking and more work on the recipes. So let's just start. What are we waiting for? So we start from the material from the crucible, from the clay crucible. Remember we had good results with it, but now it's under. Now it was after more fire and a little bit, not much more additional pure beeswax without neros and life forms. Samples are best obtained. It's true to all containers. Actually, when you squeeze a little bit of the toilet paper or the cotton into, because then you get the juice. Otherwise, it's mostly hard material or dry material. Dry material is probably the most difficult actually to get sample. But we'll see the dry material from this crucible. It will be the next one. And the wax is problematic because you get. You remember that I've shown you wax samples, and they are very thick, so it's difficult to focus. But let's see what we have here. So I stopped the music because, because because otherwise, I cannot put it in I cannot upload the video without copyright problem. So but we will continue with the music. The Bird of Prey, Fatboy Slim after we finish the review. So don't worry. I understand from the zombies here in the department that it's quite like a fan favorite among the Shabak and other intelligence services actually. So okay, so this is material from the clay crucible, the ancient garum. This looks like Neros, but I'm not sure why it's so dark. What's the problem? They are like closed Neros or dark Neros. They have the size and the shape and and you see the ring. But why are they all closed? What's the problem? Weird. I've never seen. This is the first time that I see such a thing actually. Such a. They look good. I must say. They look fine, but just they're closed. Is this true for the stargates as well, like the solar gates? This is the first time phenomenon for me. I've never seen such a thing in my life. Like that they are all closed like that. This is a huge one. Maybe it's kind of like maybe it's just something to do with the physics of. The question, important question is what's going on with the solar gates, and I have no idea. So you can tell me what's going on, but other than like a universal problem or condition or phenomenon with the solar gates, this can also only be the only kind of explanation is that they are all open gates that are open to like a black place, a very black place. See, that's an open one actually, a small one. But we do see Neros, certainly, but they're all, I cannot explain it besides that, either a universal phenomenon or that they are all pointing to black material. Like that they are all kind of matched with other Neros that are inside of very black material. Otherwise, I don't really have an explanation to what to actually see here. It's the first time that I see such a thing. This is new to me. This is new. It's a new phenomenon, for me at least. Yeah, consistently like that. They're pretty big, it should be said, and not many life forms. We do see some life forms, but generally there isn't a ton of life forms here. I've seen samples with tremendously more life forms. So this is an open one. Maybe we should zoom in. Difficult to focus. Not sure why. Because it's on the edge of the slide. So here we see a couple of open ones. Overall, huge Neros, and looks healthy, but they're all in this position, which is peculiar. This is the first time for me. Interesting. I must say interesting. I don't know what it. I wouldn't. Probably they are healthy. They look healthy. The fact that they are either closed or open to blackness. I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that something wrong with them because they look pretty well actually and very big. Huge even. Let's look at the other slide. So the same crucible, but little different, maybe place in the crucible, and this might affect the results tremendously, as we already know. So this is like a layer with more wax. You can see that it's kind of like thick layer, and you see also of life forms, probably demons that were created in the wax. Not sure what it is. So that's a nice Nero, an open. Another open one, and this one is open. No, it's not open, it's because you see like the life form, like, hanging from the outside, or perhaps it's getting out, like through the gate. It's another option. So it's certainly not the same like sample. I mean, they're really different. Like now we see all sort of like life forms and neros that are open and like bright. These are all definitely neros. The robots, I mean, and they are very, of course we see all sort of life forms, much more than the other slide. So that's the problem with the crucibles, that they are so, it's like a heap of like, of course you can work with smaller crucibles, and I've done so in the past, but the bigger ones are, the results, tend to be so varied because they are so, it's like an ecosystem, and there's different like fire and different oils and different, like different base materials, so. But we do see many neros, not as big as we've seen in the other one, but they are not closed. They are open like we expect them to be. Let's zoom in. Maybe even more. Can't focus too much. Okay, so let's get back to this. Nice. So it's definitely not a universal phenomenon. It's probably that these are all, direct to some kind of like a black place, like the ones that we've seen in the previous slide. So this is the classical position of a nero that is working on the life form, either killing it, eating it, mutating it, creating it, doing all sorts of stuff with it. Okay, interesting and certainly very rich in neros. Should remind you, this was taken from the crucible that this one that I have not like added any kind of like extra material that contains neros, on neros, only little bit of wax that from the candle, like, so it didn't get like any boost of neros on life forms. It just fired again, more fire, more time, but mostly it's just the original material. So you see that it's actually very rich composition. I must say it's a little bit too wet, for me to eat. I need to think about it. Maybe I'll take like another sample from a drier part before I taste it. Let's see the other. What we can get from the other slide container. So now we watch two samples from this small crucible. They are characterized by that they are very, very dry. Like it was so dry that I had to squeeze the burned the paper has to get a little bit of wetness, because otherwise it was just crumbles of charcoals. And actually this is like from food from culinary perspective, actually the burned material is actually pretty good, because it's kind of like if it still got the moisture in it, and of course the nero juice, you get the nero juice, and although not many life forms because it burned pretty well, and also you get like the the barbecue flavor, like I mean, that some people really like. I mean, it goes well with, of course, mostly, like things like hummus and things like that. Trina, not chocolate or peanut butter, of course. But for each his own. So this is the bicycle bacteria or the train bacteria, difficult to say because when they are small they look very similar. And you see mostly burnt stuff here. Yeah, burnt stuff. Yeah, it's not enough moisture like to catch them. Like, I mean, to preserve the Neros. That's the problem when it's too burnt. Like, I mean, it's like that. It's too burned. Just too burn, and we don't see any Neros here. Just all sort of like, I mean, burnt stuff. Burnt life forms, burnt cotton. Certainly not a successful one. All sorts of demons, but no Neros to be found in this charred specimen. Okay, so let's take a look at the other one. Maybe I take it like for more like a wet place. See, it's so dry that, I mean, the cover just, fell from the glass because there is no like wetness like to hold the cover. Okay, so maybe this is better, I don't know, let's see. Certainly Nero, but I mean only one. Not a good sample. Maybe I'm sure that there are tons of like Neros in this container. Just I probably chose like very bad place to take it from. Happens. It's a question. I don't know. Maybe I just chose like something that was completely dry. You hear the slamming of doors of cars from the outside. This is one of the most. I didn't mention it because it's not like a trigger. It's more like a behavior that is extremely common within the Israeli intelligence, like in security. They always do it, and they do it for years. Like, I mean, everything is an excuse, like, to slam the door of the car, like, you know, very strong. I mean, very, like, you know, softly, like, in any hour of the day. I mean, it's kind of like a passive-aggressive behavior in general. You don't need to be a genius to interpret it, but it's also extremely childish, like everything that they do, actually. They are children. They are like irritated children. Oh, so pretty dead slide. What can I say? This is like a dead slide. So maybe you should take like other samples. I mean, later from like other places. Maybe I've chosen like something that was very dry. So, I mean, lesson learned. Don't take it from like the too dry like place, because you will get nothing. Even though it might sound tasty because it's like the flavoring, but you don't get the Neros. You see, it's like, I mean, just when I put it like like on this table, like, I mean, improvised table, I mean, the cover just, I mean, slips out because there is no water, like there is no wetness. Okay, so now for two samples from this container, this should be much water, because, I mean, there is so much, you know, still much water from the electrolysis, I mean, experiment that was there, but, I mean, also wax that is mixed with it, so hopefully we'll be able to see stuff and also to focus, because the wax layer is kind of thick. So you see the wax layer, I mean, background that is like gives it the texture, and you see quite a bit of Nero just, I mean, from the get-go. So many Neros, all sorts of positions. Also we see duds here, I mean, that they were created but not completed. This is an interesting Nero. So, I mean, mostly, I would say, many duds, but definitely much, I mean, we do see Neros here. They don't look as mature as the ones that we've seen like in the clay crucible. I mean, they are not thick, and they don't like, they look less healthy or less mature, but we do see Neros here. Let's zoom in, maybe. Oh, difficult to focus. It looks like a sample that was taken from like a place that was still like in creation. Like, I mean, maybe the creation like by the fire, but because you see many of like the what I call the duds, like that are already half baked and probably will disseminate in the water, like disintegrate in the water in the next couple of hours. But we do see a good amount of Neros, and it should be remember that this is like the wax layer, make it difficult to focus. So probably there are many more, like, you know, in other like deeper in the space in the sample. Okay. And last one from this metal container. So by now, I mean, probably there will be some kind of a culinary experience. Probably it will be from the ancient garum, because there we've seen like the most consistent, like healthy, like, you know, like healthy, you know, juicy Neros, like the big ones that look very like prepared for a meal. Too much of a mess here. We do see Neros, but not that much, and very messy. In general, I would say that for eating purposes, like for culinary purposes, probably it's better to like fry it on oil, not on wax. Wax is bad, but wax is very good. I mean, if you want to create all sorts of stuff like other Neros, or I mean, almost everything. I mean, it's great like to use wax actually, bee wax, but canola oil or any cooking oil is actually better if you want to eat it, because then you can actually see much better what you actually eat. I mean, it's much more clear, and they tend to survive better in all sorts of like, after fermentation. In a non-sealed container, I mean. So yeah, I mean, the winner, certainly from like, point of view of like, culinary purposes, is certainly the ancient garum. And maybe we'll eat a little bit of it later tonight, or not much later, maybe even now. Actually, I'm very hungry, I must say. I need to eat. Like anyway, I need to eat. I mean, not necessarily radioactive robots. So this is a mess. I mean, I don't see much. I mean, it looks like the other one. It looks like it's like on the middle of like formation. Like, I mean, I need more oil, and I don't even have money to buy oil. I mean, I have zero money, and I don't know what to do. But I definitely need more oil for this experimentation. I mean, of course, I'm not going to throw it away. I mean, it will be kept, like, but I'm also not going to make cookies out of it, because these two are still not mature enough. Like, there are probably many Neros, but we need to boil it, like, in a better way. And maybe also, the metal containers with the magnet is not the best tool. As I said, it might not be the best, like, method, like, to create Neros, like, for the long run, because maybe they are just swallowed by the magnets. As opposed to here, like in the clay container, that there is not metallic and no magnet, and you see that it preserved much better even after months. But of course, we cannot jump to conclusion. We need more, evidence. But I can say that for now we will not eat from the metal container, but maybe I will, take like small sample from this, like half a spoon or something of like the water material, and put it on a sandwich. Yeah, I'll probably do that. So that's it for now, and there aren't many days left for humanity. I don't know if you intend to move arms and legs, or maybe you just want to continue to move the mouse and the tongue, but I'm not going to be rescued by the mouse and the tongue for certain, and not by any kind of a communication with me, messages, cues, clues. No, I will be rescued by the movement of arms and legs, or there will be no humans very, very soon.